So what's up, people? This is my third video on C# tutorial series. In my previous videos, I forgot to talk about comments. Basically, comments are just a chunk of code that will be ignored by compilers or interpreters. In C#, we can comment a line by adding double forward slash like this. So this is a comment. So you can comment like this code does this thing. And this is very useful for developers to sort of like put notes on what a specific chunk of code does. We can also select multiple lines of code and hold Ctrl K plus C. Let me do this. So, alright, so if I highlight these two lines and Ctrl K C, so it will comment these two lines. And you can also undo this by Ctrl KU, which will undo the commenting. Or we can type in forward slash plus star and end it with a star plus forward slash to do the same thing. So let's continue with string. String is one of the most used data types in C#. This is because string deals with texts, and texts are essential parts in most software development projects. Inputs, alerts, messages, notifications, explanations, and things like that use text because they are human readable, and softwares are for human to use, at least for now. So we've seen some basic operations done with string, such as string concatenation in the last video. In this video, we're going to look at string in more details. We can initialize a string using the regular string literal like this, as we've seen previously. Or we can also initialize using a verbatim string literal like this. The difference between these two is the use of escape character. When using a regular string literal, we need to use escape character in order to include escape sequences. One of the escape sequence is the new line sequence, which is \n. And if you type \n inside a regular string literal like this, it will act as a new line. So let's try this. And let's console.writeLine. So it will act as a new line right after the exclamation mark here. Another example is when we want to include double quotes in our string. We can't just type in double quote like this because it will end the string, and this double quote here will be ignored and causing the error here. We need to include backslash to escape the double quote character in the string and include it as part of the string, like this. Let's say I want to say something here. I have something good to show. And let's print it out. So as you can see here, the double quotes are shown when there is a backslash here. So we escape the double quote character. Another practical example is the file path. So let me create a string path and we put in the path here. So you can see here there's this red squiggly lines on each of the backslash. We need to escape every backslash here like this in order for this to be good. But it will look like this, a lot of double backslashes. And when we print this to the console, so let's see WriteLine path and print this to the console, we can see that it looks good here, but in the code, not so good. So what we can do is to use a verbatim string literal. With verbatim string literal, we just need to put the verbatim syntax here and just remove the new line by a real new line, and this can be double quotes. And for this here, you can just remove all of the extra backslashes, and then when we print out, it's gonna look exactly the same. See, there's a new line here and double quotes, and then the file path looks exactly the same here. Much better. There are a lot more escape sequences are available in C#, but I'm not going to cover all of them. We can see all the list of the string escape sequences in the Microsoft C# original documentation here. The docs.microsoft.com, there's a programming guide strings for C#. You can see here, there's this single quote, double backslash, null, alert, and much more. Try to look at this. Another thing to look at is the format strings. There are two types of format strings in C#. The first one is the string interpolation, which is available in C#6. So I'm going to create two variables here. So let's say Anas and a string country, which is Malaysia. So let's convert this to the regular string literal and see what's going on. So I'm gonna put this backslash back here. So this is good. So as usual, if you want to concatenate a string, you'll be doing something like this from the previous video. But in string interpolation, you can just put a $sign here, and then you put in curly braces and the variable. It's very simple to use, and this variable inside the curly braces will be resolved at runtime. For me, this is much simpler and easier to read compared to using the plus sign to concatenate strings. And you can also mix with the verbatim string like this. So convert back, do a double quote, and here it will output the same thing. So hi, I'm Anas, which this is come from the variable name. I'm from Malaysia, I have something good to show. The second format string is the composite formatting, which uses the placeholders in curly braces to create a format string. We can use this by calling the string.Format method like this. So you convert this to a regular string literal back. So this will be backslash as usual. And I'm gonna put a string dot format and open and closing parentheses. So we copy all these string and paste it here. So inside the curly braces, we're gonna put an index. So it starts from 0. This placeholder will be resolved at runtime. So you're gonna put a comma and then our variable name. So if we put name here, it will consider this as the index 0. So it will resolve this as name, which is Anas. So let's see. Yep, it's the same here. So if we want to put some other variable, let's change this Malaysia to curly braces 1. And then we're going to add a second variable here, which is country. And let's run this. So we can see it outputs the same. Anas and I'm from Malaysia. So 0 is name, 1 is for the country. You can put in as many variables as you want and then just separate it by a comma. So this is just an overview. You can actually do more with it. You can read more on the string.Format method here on the Microsoft C# documentation string.Format method. Well, let's see another one here. Alright, here. So this does not just use the index parameter here, 0, 1, 2, and etc. It has another parameter here, which is the field length. So 6-character field here. And as you can see, it uses year. So 2013, it actually has 6 character here until here. And another string here, which is population, includes the string inside the population. It adds to 15 right here. So you can do more formatting like that. And a whole bunch more here. But basically, this is how it works. So most of the time, you're going to use something like this or the string interpolation as before. String also has some built-in methods which we can use to process the string itself. We're going to look at C# methods in general in another video later on. For now, we'll just focus on string methods. There's this method called .toLower, like this, and parentheses. So you put it after the string, and what it does is it converts the whole string variable into lowercase. So let's see the output. As you can see here, all of the characters in the string are in lowercase now. Or you can also use this method with the variable itself, like this. So this is the variable text. We do text.toLower and open close parentheses. So let's do this again. We're going to see the same result here. There's also an opposite of this toLower method, which you probably can guess, .toUpper. So this will convert all of the characters within a string to uppercase, as you can see here. Or you can do the same way as before. So you cut this and put it here, and let's see the output. Same output as before. So next is the length property. Don't worry if you don't understand yet what properties are. We'll discuss this in later videos, which focuses on classes and object-oriented programming. Basically, we can use this property to get the total character count of the string. So when I use it on this string here, I think I'm gonna use the country here, and then let's say .length without the parentheses. And when you output this, we're going to get 8, which is the value of the length in this here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So basically this property here is an integer. As you can see here, when you hover on the length property, you're going to see int here, string.length. So this whole thing will be considered as an integer of the length of this string here, Malaysia. Another thing we can do is we can also access individual characters of the string by using the bracket syntax, like this. So inside the bracket, we're going to type in the index of the character that we're accessing. Let's say I'm going to get this L here. So the index starts at 0, so 0, 1, 2. So if I type in 2 here, it should return L. Yep, that's right. You can type in any integer here. Let's say I'm going to type 0. And that returns M, which is the 0th index of the string. Or you can mix up with the string.length property, like country.length minus 2 to get the last 2 character, which is I here. So string.length is 8, and we don't have an 8 index because the index starts at 0, so 0 until 7. If we get 8 minus 1, we should get 8. So 8 minus 2, we should get I here. So let's see. Yes, so we get an I right here. So the last method we're going to look at today is the substring method, where you can use it like this: variable dot substring, open and close parentheses, and there's 2 ways to use it. So inside the parentheses, we type in the start index. Let's say 3. So what this does is it will start from the index 3, which is A here, until the end of the string. So we get the value only from here until the end, and we'll ignore the previous characters. So let's see the output. Yep, it takes from the A after L until the end. So another way to use this is to type in the start index and comma after the start index. So after comma, it will be the length of the substring that we want. Let's say 3. So what this does is we take from here, which is the 3rd index, and we go 1, 2, 3. So it should have only 3 characters, which is AYS. So let's see. Yep, here it is. AYS. Of course, you can try it with different numbers here. And I guess that's the end of our video here. There's actually a lot more built-in methods for the string data type, and you can always check out the documentation on those. And you can go to the documentation page from Microsoft here. And as you can see here, under methods, there's a lot of methods here. Concat, contains, copy, ends with, and a bunch more. Probably gonna look at everything, and it depends on what you're gonna use it with. So basically, if you're thinking of a string processing method in your mind, probably chances are it might have been developed here. And what I'm showing here is just an overview on how to use those methods and properties, and hopefully will make it easier for you guys to use other methods for your future project. On the next video, we're going to look at integers and do some maths. So thank you for watching.